What's up guys, it's Cosmic. So today we're going to be covering Combat Axe locations on Infection for Domination. And after I put up my montage, a few of you asked about the last clip I used because I hit that kill cam into the church window. And so that spot will be covered in this episode. And I quickly just want to give a shout out to my bud FBK Project for helping me out in this episode. He helped me out set up the kill cams, which is a new addition we'll be adding to these videos, just so you guys can see what each spot will look like as a kill cam, and also just kind of shows the path of the axe. I mentioned all that later on, but huge thank you to him because he's helping out with that, and he's also helped me find spots on future maps as well. And for those of you that want a nuke town, we're almost done finding spots on it, so that will be done soon. But for now, enjoy this episode. So for these spawn spots from C to A and A to C, you will probably notice that this map is very long, and so we basically have to throw the axe as far as we can to have it reach the flag, but it is possible. So here's how you're going to go about it. You're going to use A for your horizontal alignment, just pretty standard for these kind of throws, and then you're using this tree I'm looking at for height alignment, and so you're going to be aligned with A and then aligned with that tree for height, and you're going to be moving while you throw this axe. You're going to be walking towards C. Bear in mind that I'm doing this without gung-ho. If you use gung-ho, the axe goes even further because you can sprint while throwing it. This is done without gung-ho. So you want to be looking over A and then as high as that tree, and then walk towards C, and then right before you hit the flag is where you want to throw the axes. If you're already on C when you throw them, they'll go too far. If you're further back, they won't quite reach the flag, and the headstones in this yard over here can block the axe. The only thing you have to worry about for this throw is either hitting the church if you throw too far to the left, or hitting these monuments if you don't throw them far enough. But as you can see, these ones land on the front. I threw them a little early. Obviously, if you get closer to C, they'll land further back. That's why obviously the second one lands further, because I was moving when I threw it. So just keep that in mind, and then just don't aim too far to the left. Obviously not too far to the right. There's nothing over here to really block the axe. You'll just probably miss the flag. But that's how you can hit these axes onto A from C.
Securing Charlie. Drop. Profit down.
Okay, and from A to C, it's the exact same setup, same principle as the last throw. You're going to be moving towards A, you're going to be lined up with C, and your height alignment for this one is the very top tree, is what you're using for that. So you want to be lined up with C, as high as that tree. That almost rhymed. It sounded like a little jingle or something. But yeah, align with that tree in C, and then walk forward. And again, right before you hit A flag is where you want to throw them. And the same thing applies if you throw them too early, they won't quite hit C. If you throw them too late, like after you're on A, they'll go too far. These ones look like they fell a little bit short. Go over here and see real quick. Yeah, so one fell short and then one landed on the flag. So I could have waited a split second longer to throw them, and then this one probably would have landed there, and that one would have been more in the center of the flag. But again, it just all depends on when you throw them while you're moving. But just make sure you're not using gung-ho, otherwise it'll kind of change everything really, when you have to throw them and stuff like that, because the axes will be going further. So again, just do this without gung-ho, and that's how you hit C from A.
Securing A. Warfighter. Warfighter, KIA.
Okay, so we'll now cover straight ups to B from both sides, and we'll start here on C side. And this one right here is, actually, if I'm honest, they're all very easy, but this one to me seems the easiest because it works, like, it's pinpoint accurate and it's very easy to line up. So for this one from C side, you'll see this handrail on a little mini porch right here. You want to walk into the middle one right here, and there's a ledge at the bottom that you'll walk up onto, and that's what you want to do. You want to walk up until your character goes up onto that, and just walk into that middle post there. Then look over B, and I'm hesitant to use these cloud alignments because if you've noticed on some of the updated maps, like when they've put out patches and things that change the lighting of the maps, it removed the clouds. But for now, we'll assume it's going to stay this way. And so you'll see the top of my tomahawk crosshair looking at this like hole in the clouds, or like this U shape that I'm kind of trying to trace right here. And what you want to do is you want to look up, and then you want the right side of your Combat Axe crosshair kind of hugging the right side of where the clouds begin again. You'll kind of see I'm hovering over it right now. What I usually do is I throw one a little to the left of it, like more in the center, like about there, and then I move one up right against it and throw another one. And what those do is they land the axe behind the monument that everyone lays down behind when they're capping. Obviously, if you're on this side, you're going to lay down right here to cap because you have cover. Same thing happens on this side, but as you can see, those axes land right in that cover spot. And so it's a very, very good way to kill people capping B, because that's honestly almost where people always capture from. And so it's a very good way to take them out, and it works any time in the game, really. I mean, shortly after spawn if they're rushing B, or any time during the game if they're trying to capture B. It's a very good way to take them out.
Smoke, check.
Alright, so this is another straight up to B to the same spot behind the monument there. This one is trickier to line up, and it's kind of just more difficult in general. And so the only time I'd really rely on this spot is if you want to go for kill cam, because it's kind of cheeky compared to the other one. But as far as like ease of use goes, definitely use the other one. It's just much easier to do and more reliable. But for this one, what we want to do is we're going to be throwing the axe through this window up here. And what you want to do is there's this painting on the ground, and you want to walk up. There's like this line, this brown line that I'm walking on. You want to be on that, on this side of the painting, and you don't want to be like right in the middle of the painting, but more like towards the right side, I guess. So back a little bit. And you're probably gonna end up altering it anyway, because you have to get it through these windows, and the panes in the window will block the axe as well as the curtains, so you have to avoid that. What you want to do is look at the right side of B, because that's how it'll get it to the camping spot behind the monument. And you want to look straight up, and you want to make sure you're going to get it through these windows. So this one, if I throw it, it's going to hit that center pane. And it didn't. I stand corrected. I actually missed that one. I thought it was going to hit. So we'll go ahead and duplicate it, I guess. But just be aware that those panes will block your axe, and so will the curtains. And so if you happen to stand here and look up and the alignment doesn't quite work, just kind of move forward or backwards until it does. It can be kind of deceptive. I feel like I line up in the same spot every time, and occasionally I feel like I'm looking at a totally different spot. And so just be aware that if you hit the pane or the curtain, just kind of alter it forward or backwards until you have a clear shot through that window. I'm surprised that first axe actually made it through. But as you can see, they land in the same exact spot as the other ones right behind this monument. And they do look like they land outside of the flag. That's because they bounce and like dribble down. The ones from over here on the left by C actually bounce off the top of the monument and land back here. These ones just kind of bounce off the border, I guess. But again, it's just straight up to that camping spot on B. Honestly, if you're losing B or they're capping B, you'll almost always get a kill in that spot, regardless of if there's someone out here. And so I'm not going to cover center flag straight ups just because I don't find that they are necessary. So that's just another straight up from C side that will land them into the camping spot on B.
Spear blunted. Spear blunted.
Okay, so now we're going to cover the straight ups to B from A side. And again, there's two on this side, one from here, and then one from across on the other side of the church. Kind of similar to the other side as far as areas go. But anyway, for this one, there's this, I really don't know what to call these. Are they headstones? Is this like a graveyard? Or, I mean, I'm assuming, because that is. So I'm just going to call them a headstone, a monument. I don't even know what to call it, whatever. Anyway, what you want to do is walk into the center of it on this side of it. Just right into the middle until you stop. And then turn around. And you're going to look at the left side of B. Look up. And then you're going to see this hole in the clouds right here that I'm looking at. And what you're going to do is look up until you find that. Then you want your bottom, the bottom of your tomahawk cross there in that cloud. Or in the, I guess, absence of clouds. In the hole in the clouds, sorry. And so again, look up and you'll see that. Put the bottom of your Combat Axe crosshair in there. And I usually go right where the edge of it is, like right there. And then I usually look to the left a little bit more and throw another one. Just, again, like I always mention, you want to alter your spots a little bit so they land in slightly different areas. But so this is actually a good example. So this one lands behind the flag in the spot. The one I threw to the left bounces off the top of the monument and lands on the inside camping spot that people use. This one isn't as popular because some people don't even know you can cap from in here, which at this point in the game is beyond me, but that one will land there. Usually they both land back here. I just threw it far enough to the left that it didn't quite make the bounce over the border. But again, as you could have seen there, just a great way to kill people capping from C side of B.
Warfighter, KIA.
Okay, now we'll cover the other straight up to B from A side. And this one is a little more tricky than the one I just showed you and the first one from C side, but obviously all of them are easier than the second one from C side. So for this one, there's this extension on the like stable or barn, whatever this thing is. Here, there's this extension next to this cross. And what you want to do is walk into the back of it, just where it ends right here, and walk into that. That you're just kind of there's no corner, you're just lining up with it. And then what you want to do is align with the left side of this chimney and look straight up. And this is easier to do if your horizontal stability is lower. Mine's the same, so I tend to like accidentally look left or right when I'm trying to aim straight up sometimes. But just if you're having trouble with that, just lower your horizontal sensitivity, because then when you look up, you'll be less likely to deviate to the left or right. But you want to align with the left side of the chimney, look straight up, throw your axe. Sometimes you'll notice if you look all the way up, when you let go of the thumbstick, it'll push your aim down a little bit. So I usually try and counter that if it does it. If it doesn't do it, don't worry about it. But if it does, kind of push up against it so it's not doing that. If you try it, you'll understand what I mean. It's kind of hard to explain, but as you can see, again, they just landed the camping spot in the back. Pretty self-explanatory at this point. You know what it's for. You know how they work. So that's just another straight up to B from A side.
Threat down. Threat down.
So now we're going to cover some more camper-friendly spots, I guess, if you want to call them that, which will include the church spot here in a bit. But this first spot is going to be from A side, and it's going to land axes either in the upstairs windows up here, or they're going to bounce off the house and land in this head glitch spot. Both very popular spots, and that's what makes this spot great, is you either land it in the window, or you miss, and you still land it in a head glitch spot. And so it's one of those kind of rare spots where you're kind of not guaranteed to kill, but your odds are a lot more likely, just because no matter where it lands, it's going to be in a pretty good spot. But what you want to do, excuse me, there is go to the back of A, and there's this entrance, and you want to lay down next to the left side of this wall here. It's kind of hard. It depends on like how your field of view, not field of view, but like your safe zone on your TV is set. So I'm not going to use it as this type of alignment, but I usually go until it's out of my screen. Obviously, it all depends on, you know, your display and all that, but that's just kind of how I do it. I crawl up until it's out of my screen. You want to look up, and there's this tree I'm looking at right now, and there's a tree up here. And what you're going to do is you're going to aim, you're laying down, you're going to aim straight up as far as you can look. And you want to be to the right of the end of this tree, but you want to be to the left of the end of this tree. So you want to be like within this space right here is where you want to throw your axes from. So you want to look up a little bit to the right of the bottom and to the left of the top tree, and throw an axe there. And then I'm going to look to the right a little bit, throw another one. Hopefully one will make it into the window. Yes, the first one did, the second one didn't. Okay, good. So this will be a very good example on where they can land. And so the first axe lands into the window upstairs, which is a very popular sniper spot, as I'm sure you all know. And so you can take out people up in this window, and then the other one bounced off the house and then landed in a head glitch spot. And depending on how left or right your alignment is, depends on how, obviously, whether, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, that's where the axe lands. But if you aim further to the right, the axe actually gets even closer to the head glitch and actually lands like literally in the spot. And so if there's someone hugging this truck, you even have a chance to kill them. But just altering your left and right alignment is what will change either what window you landed in. It's kind of hard to land it in this right window just because by the time the axe reaches this side of the building, it's too low to make it into the window. If you get lucky, you might get it to crawl into the bottom corner, but Most of the time, you're either going to get it in the left window or bounce it off the house. Just a great way to kill people from a side into the a very camper-friendly areas, I guess, both of these areas.
Threat neutralized.
Alright, now we'll cover the spot that I'm sure you've all kind of been waiting for, or at least a good amount of you have. And this is the church spot that I used in my montage. It's the last clip I used because I hit it for kill cam. And this is a very easy spot to line up, and the church is even more popular than the spots I just showed you, as you probably know. And so you can hit this almost all game if you really want, especially if you get that one guy chilling up there with the sniper who just keeps going back. So it's a very good spot for this. And what you're going to do is it's actually very easy to line up. There's this bush on the ground right here. This like grass coming out of the snow. And be aware that like these rocks that surround it, like the change in elevation can drastically alter your shot. So make sure you're not like laying onto the rocks, because then it changes how high you're looking and everything. Like see how much that changes and all that. So make sure you're avoiding that, but I kind of have a tip to make sure you know where you're lined up. But you want to lay down on this and you want to curl up until you can imagine that the bush is like under your chest basically. So you don't want to be behind it or right on it. You want to be, well, you do want to be right on it, but you don't want your like head right on it. You want to imagine that your chest is on it. Then you want to look to, you'll see that vent at the top of the church. You want to look to the left side of it and then look straight up. And if you do it correctly, your Combat Axe crosser will be on this part of the power pole here. If it's incorrect, like if you're laying on a rock or something that's next to you, your Combat Axe crosser will either be below it when you look straight up or above it when you look straight up. I mean, you'll be able to tell. It's quite obvious. Like you'll try and go all the way up and your Combat Axe crosser will only go like this high. Obviously you're not laying on the flat surface, or if it goes way up, you're laying on an incline looking up. So just be aware of that, because it can obviously change things quite a bit. Again, look to the left side of the vent, look up till your Combat Axe crosshair is on the power pole there, and throw one. I usually throw one and then look to the right a little bit and throw another one. If your alignment is correct, you'll get them both in the window. If not, you'll have one bounce off and land in the head glitch spot on this side. So it's the same as the other spot, where if you miss the window, you'll land it in this head glitch. So if you hit this center piece of the church, it's going to land right here in this head glitch, unless obviously you hit like this corner, but you'd have to be pretty, you have to screw up your alignment quite a bit to do that. But as you can see, both of these land right in the window here, and obviously because of where you're throwing them from, they come kind of in at an angle. So anyone at the window will take the axe, or if there's someone back here, they'll also take an axe to the face. So just a great spot to kill campers, and it's such a good spot because it's such a popular area. You have pretty high probability of hitting it, and there's usually people there all game. And if you get lucky like I did and then wait for the round to end, you can actually hit it for kill cam. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode for now, guys. I am not going to cover any more spots on this map for the time being. If there are more spots on this map you'd like me to cover, let me know what they are, and I can do my best to find some spots for that. But this kind of just covers the basics of flag spots from every side of the map. So hopefully you found these spots useful, and I hope you really enjoyed this episode. And we're actually in the middle of just grinding out these spot episodes. I have a friend helping me now who's also, you'll notice in this video that obviously it's already happened, I included kill cams. And so he's helped me out with that. So that's going to be something new we're adding to the episodes, as long as we're both available, is I'm going to be showing you what the locations look like as a kill cam. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Next maps coming up. So Infection is now done. Next maps are going to be Stronghold and Evac. Evac's kind of a stale map. It's not a very good Combat Axe map, and so there aren't a lot of spots on it. We found some pretty cheeky spots on Stronghold though, so that's going to be a great episode, so expect that soon. And then we are also still working on spots for Nuketown. I know a bunch of you have suggested that. That will be out very soon, so just sit tight. But the next maps coming out will be Stronghold and Evac, so keep an eye out for that, and that should be very soon. because we're pumping out these spots now, and it's going to be great. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and to those of you that are subbed, thank you so much. We're over 100 now, and that's awesome. And to everyone that's seen my montage, thank you so much for the support on it. It's doing very well. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it in the description below. Go check that out if you like. But thank you guys so much for everything. Appreciate it, and take care.